And welcome back to Wake Up Radio with Ryan, Rain, and Fuzz. We've got Angela Shelton joining us live here in the studio this morning. And Angela, we were talking about how you got started making your documentary, Searching for Angela Shelton. Angela, so you got everything together. HBO didn't want to give you funding. You didn't care. What did you do next?
Well, because I was pitching to HBO, and they were like, we love this idea, and this is great. And so I went home and started making the documentary. I started calling Angela Shelton's.
No, you're not waiting for funding.
Wait.
You're not waiting for approval. No. You just started doing it.
When I have an idea, I just was like, I'm going to do it. Okay. So I went home and I started calling Angela Shelton's. I started a whole, I had this Angela Shelton notebook, because they're all called Angela Shelton, so I had to keep them organized.
Right.
And then HBO called, and so I had like Angela Tennessee, Angela Washington. It gets confusing.
Yeah.
And so then HBO called and they were like, we're sorry, we took it to the high ups at HBO. We're already doing a movie about a name. Alan Berliner is inviting 12 Alan Berliners over for dinner, and so we're not going to fund your movie. And I was like, my movie is not about 12 Jewish guys having dinner.
Right.
Sorry.
And
I wasn't exposing the name. I wasn't like dissecting it and doing the numerology of it. I was just using it to meet women.
And the great thing is that you didn't care. You kept pressing forward. What did you do next?
I needed funding because I'd already started calling Angela's, and I kept having these dreams too. I was like, I was being pushed.
Guided.
Yeah, I was definitely being pushed to do it. Yeah. And so I threw a party, and I invited everybody I knew. And at that time, it was like 350 people in my Palm Pilot back in the day. Mm-hmm. Now I have an Android. Anyway. And there's like 5,000 contacts in there. And so I sent a self-addressed stamped envelope because it was encouraging. Like, it's already got a stamp on it.
Right.
Put money in there.
That's right.
And so if you can't come to the party, send money. And it worked. I raised the money to at least get the RV. How much did you raise? About 14 grand. And so I was able to get the RV, which was 13 grand. Mm-hmm. And then I was able to,
wow.
Yeah, I know. And then I was able to get my crew, stack it with food, and get on the road. But I forgot about having the funding for the rest of it.
So how much total time was this production?
I was on the road 57 days.
57 total days. And you had how many people in your crew? 5. And you paid everybody?
Oh, yeah. I believe artists should be paid.
God bless you.
I know. And that's actually air quotes here, mistake I made, according to a lot of filmmakers, that I did pay everybody, because all in all, it costs a lot of money to make this movie.
Sure.
But movies cost a lot. And I paid everyone, except myself. Oops. I'm codependent. Whatever. That's a whole nother show.
Well, but, generosity breeds generosity. That's something that we talk about here on the show. And, some would say that the reward that you might have received after the film was finished kind of would equal money, although you can't pay your bills with that type of thing. But we talk about that a lot on here, about, when is money the reward, and when are there other things that happen through what you're doing?
Well, the reward was my sanity and my health, and that's why I wrote the book, of why making the movie changed my life forever.
Now, so what about when you said you had enough money to start the film? 14,000, 13 of that is for the RV. Like, once you're 30 days or so in, were there other contributions or other ways of?
I was actually writing a screenplay while I was in the RV.
Okay.
And I would stop off at Kinko's. That was before there's Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah.
I would stop off at Kinko's and mail in my script, email it in, and get paid. And I used that money, and then also I'm an actress, and I luckily had done a lot of national commercials before I'd left, so I was getting residuals.
Okay.
And so little increments, like $500 here, $700 here, and then I got 5,000, and then so it was very sporadic. And then I got lovely gifts from God, where I was down to $50, totally sweating.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Marcus Allen sends me 10 grand. He calls me on the phone and he's like,
"More
hey."
coincidences.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in coincidences.
Well, that's why it's tongue in cheek, and that's why he smiles when we say that, because we talk a lot about that on the show. About what I love about that is you had faith that it was going to take care of itself.
I never lost faith in the movie. I lost faith in myself many times, but I never lost faith in the project.
That's interesting.
That's a great model to follow, because I think it's easier to have faith in other things outside of ourselves many times, especially when we have a big project. I want to show everybody the trailer for your film. So let's see if we can get this rolling. I'm going to pull it up here from YouTube.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
It's my way of surveying women in America. Is this Angie Shelton? It sure is. This is Angie Shelton.
I'm Angela Shelton too. We're everywhere.
Most of us have been either raped, beaten, or molested.
You bring your children up to think, you know, watch out for strangers and the bad guy, but nobody says, watch out for Uncle Joe.
I'm so sorry for what you did.
It's not your fault.
I know. It's my dad.
My mother, she was actually molested by her father.
I've been raped at gunpoint, and it was a guy that I was dating. He ran behind me and grabbed me from behind and dragged me in the park.
Just think how many more women that are not Angela Sheltons that have been treated the same way. I feel like I'm on a crusade.
I think that you're looking for something.
There's a force out there that is directing you.
I just found out the Angela Shelton in Charleston track sexual predators for a living. And my father lives in Charleston. And he is a child molester.
And your father's never charged with anything?
But I get to go see him.
You're going to see him?
What are you going to say to him?
I expose him.
Happy Father's Day.
Not a manipulator as such.
How come everyone would be lying then?
I don't know if it's really classed as a lie. I didn't do it. And that's all I can say.
You lie. I'm so searching for closure. And you have to give it to yourself.
All of us females should stick together. Unity.
It does get better, and you can get out of a bad situation and turn your life around and make it better for you.
Bad things may have happened to you, but it's your decision how the rest of the story goes.